Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Learn From Us podcast. As always, I'm here with the handsome, debonair, white-shirted Paul Gabriel. Good evening. Good morning.
Very snug. How are you?
You look very svelte lately.
Svelte.
How's that Naked app going?
Good.
Ladies and gentlemen, Paul strips naked and stands in front of a mirror which scans his buttocks and genitalia for weight loss.
I have now started wearing my my boxer briefs.
I think that's for the best.
I'm at 20% still. But I keep gaining weight, but my body fat percentage is going down. So
I'm far more than that.
Yeah.
With the percentage, unfortunately. But we played basketball last night. We both sucked.
Oh, I literally missed the first 15 3-pointers I took. And my 2-pointers, though, I only missed one all night.
I was frantically getting my kids out of the house so I could drive over to Paul's. I had to get their shoes and their wrestling shoes, and I forgot my shoes. So I had to play the night in like these little loafers, which, by the way, if you look on camera now, I've started with the sock and loafer look.
Could you be more foreign, please?
I told Paul, I was just like, you know what? I've gotten to this age where I just don't give a shit anymore.
Look, Andrew doesn't have socks on.
No, he's wearing pants with no socks. I'm wearing shorts with. Like, this is a no-no. I didn't even ask my wife.
And I was going to say, your wife let you leave like this?
I don't care. Look, I don't care. My feet hurt when I'm walking around too much. But so anyway, I went to Browns training camp today.
That's pretty awesome. How do they look?
They do look good. I told you before, people were screaming Super Bowl. They're chanting Super Bowl for a 7-win team.
You know why I don't like that? You know I don't like this? Because anything less than that now, people are going to be like, we suck. And I'm like, guys, if we win 9 games, that's going to be a pretty good, start.
We could win 10 and not make the playoffs. It's happened.
That's happened before, yeah. 10-6 we went with Romeo Crennel.
I mean, oh, God love him, old Santa. So, so the Browns camp, I've been wanting to go for years. I wanted to go, and I finally went, and we sat out in the blazing sun for 4 hours. The kids were dropping like flies, and I probably don't have to go back, but it was a fun experience seeing all these people up close. But
that's good.
Let's get down to business. You said you got a text from a friend.
So he told me not to tell anybody.
Okay,
he didn't say don't tell anybody. He said don't mention this to the person we're talking about. So a friend of mine sent me a text. We have a mutual friend who is obsessed with Amazon, Bitcoin, and Tesla. Does this sound familiar to you?
Is his name Seth Kirchanen?
It's not Seth
Okay,
Kirchanen.
keep going.
He used to tell me that Amazon and Tesla you should own just because their founders are geniuses, and geniuses make people lots of money. Well, he just sent a text to our mutual friend saying, boy, Tesla's down 14%. He's like, it's a money pit. I'm out. So he went from Elon Musk is a genius, you can't bet against him, to I'm out. How? Because this is what I'm trying to tell people, that people all feel mighty and all, impossible to break down, and they feel, what's it at right now? Oh, you weren't looking at that? I'm sorry.
228. Tesla's at 228, down 13.57 today.
Okay, so, and they were down as low as like 170. But I look at that going, this is exactly what I try to tell people. Everybody gets cocky. Yesterday, somebody emailed my brother and said, boy, where's that crash you guys have been talking about? I'm like, well, I've never really said crash. I mean, I do think the stock market will have a crash. I don't think I'm not saying the real estate market will have a crash. I just think that there's better times to buy real estate, a lot better times. I just need to slow down, and I will do very well. Everybody else needs booming market to do well. I just need to slow down. And the funny part is, I told my brother, ask him next time to show us his best deal possible, and I guarantee our worst deal is better than his best deal. Why? Because he buys pretty shit. He builds new buildings. Congratulations. That person's family member was in our office the other day talking about how all the idiots were buying in 06 and 07, and I'm like, you were buying in 06 and 07. Like, you're that idiot. And then he was bragging about this other family member buying the entire world right now. Oh, he's trying to buy everything. I'm like,
right now?
Yeah. And I'm like, okay. So, but the thing is, a lot of people feel like, oh, if I'm making money, I'm doing really well. And I look at it going, no, if I'm making 10%, that sucks. I'm not going to go through all this hassle to make 10%. So anyways, what I'm saying is like the emotion, people forget bad things in good times, bad times and good times. At 380, this guy thought Elon Musk was a genius. At 226, which is even higher than 170, this is a money pit. Hey, guess what? It was a money pit at 380. Your just value was going up, but the company was still a money pit. And that's what I was trying to say. That eventually drives value. If it's a money pit that isn't turning around, it does not fucking matter. It's gonna end up being shit. Now, that's not always the truth. If you talk to the company, they have a plan. But Elon Musk said, I guarantee we will not lose money from here on out. That was 4 quarters ago. They've lost money in 3 of the quarters, or 2 of them. I'm like, this guy is delusional. Is he brilliant? Absolutely. But he just has a hard time making money. And now this guy's like, oh, it's a money pit. Yeah, because you're down $160 per share in the last 6 months, and now it's a money pit. No, it was a money pit before. You're just getting away with it because the stock was going up. And that's exactly what I preach about investing. People look at their values as opposed to fundamentally what drives the value long run. As Warren Buffett always says, stocks are a voting machine in the short run and a weighing machine in the long run. Whatever's popular is going to win early, but in the long run, it's what's the substance behind it that's going to win. Okay. And we look like idiots. And I want to cry. And I want to retire and just be like, I'm done with this world. But look at that. It's a money pit. It was a fucking money pit for the last 12 years. Literally look at their financial statements.
You told me over 2 years ago it was a winner. So I'm now 2.5. And we were talking about this, the Tesla, and you didn't like it back then. I was in love with it.
Yeah.
You didn't like Bitcoin. When it first started picking up, I got on the train a little early. Why not? I've never tried anything.
Have you
else.
sold it yet?
No, I haven't. But at this point, I did get into Bitcoin saying, look, I'll give it a shot. If I lose the money, I've lost money gambling before. And so, but I told you last Friday, it came up at a little cocktail party we were at, which was lovely, of course.
Of course.
And this dude said to me, for the last 2 years, actually, it's not a dude. You might know this guy.
You want to tell me? You probably don't want to tell me the person's name.
Listen, I'm not faulting. This is what he said. He's very adamant.
Who is it?
I'd have to. He's a husband of a.
Do you want to write it down?
No, he's a husband of. It doesn't matter. He really likes Bitcoin. He researches. He listens to Bitcoin-based podcasts.
FYI, there's no such thing as researching Bitcoin. Here's the research on Bitcoin. What's behind it? Nothing. Great.
He says
there's no fucking research on Bitcoin.
He says he listens.
There's no fucking research.
He listens to podcasts surrounding the topic.
Oh,
and
good.
What people think about the pros and cons of it and every single day of his life.
Gio would have just as much as good stuff to say about Bitcoin that I would listen to. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
He said at one point he was buying Litecoin very, very cheap. He got freaked out at one point and sold. And he said if he had kept it, he'd have $350,000 in Litecoin alone.
If my grandmother had balls, she'd be my grandfather. Congratulations, pal. Good for you. If I'd played the last Powerball and picked all the numbers right, I'd have a check for $280 million, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Congratulations, bro. But he can't explain why that would have happened.
I brought this up. I said, I have this buddy. He wears tight white shirts. And he keeps on saying that if he doesn't know how it can make money, like I said, we talk about look, you can make money with magic cards, with baseball cards, with wine, with everything.
I'd rather buy a Honus Wagner baseball card than a Bitcoin. Much rather buy it. That's not being reproduced anymore.
So he's screaming, don't ever sell. If it dips by, it's going to be worth $1 gazillion. I'm predicting $50,000 in the next couple of years per coin because it's limited. So he's saying, think back.
Oh, I know. It's limited to, first off, it's limited to like 48 million coins.
21 million apparently.
Okay. And then secondly, you're telling me they're not going to all of a sudden start producing more of it if they had to?
That's what I said. They said, no, I guess the algorithm.
Oh, the algorithm.
Which people use it.
2 + 2 is a fucking algorithm, you assholes.
People use this term algorithm, which I frankly I've forgotten more about algorithms in our. We didn't have Calculus 2 together, did we? Or did we?
They didn't have Calculus 2 in high school.
I thought we did. Yeah,
we had Calc 1, AP Calc. We had that together.
Okay, yeah, we did. We had that together.
Yeah.
So I've forgotten more about algorithms or arithmetic. But yeah, no, algorithms apparently they're using the word algorithm like on the Wendy's menu now. Like it's like that commonplace. But the algorithm is that it's not possible to have more than 21 million coins. So once we reach that, they're at like 17 in production, which I don't know how that works. But once they reach that and the whole world jumps on board as the universal currency, it's going to be worth $1 million a coin, Paul. Fuck you.
Well, guess what? I could be wrong then. Great. And let me ask you a question. When everybody claims that the U.S. currency, because that's what this person also says in the text, when the U.S. currency, I'm never going to sell Bitcoin because when U.S. currency goes to shit. So when U.S. currency goes to shit, but you show up with your Bitcoin, are people going to be like, oh, thank God you have Bitcoin. Thank God you have Bitcoin. Thank you for giving me that. It's like, no. You know, it's funny. I'm libertarian, right? Libertarians love Bitcoin, and I hate Bitcoin. And their comment is, I saw some meme. They're like, oh, when anti-Bitcoiners say that what's behind it, nothing. And it's like, and then you remind them of the U.S. dollar. I'm like, I'd at least have the U.S. government behind it in the country of the U.S. where people value it. At least we have 300 million people, 320 million people sitting there saying, we trust this thing. I mean, is there devaluation of dollars? Absolutely. The dollar gets devalued all the time. That's what inflation is. I get that. But I'd rather have the U.S. government with all of its power and everything behind it than some Bitcoin. You know what I mean? It's just like, okay, whatever. And we talk about this stuff all the time, and I feel bad because...
Yeah, he said it's either going to be worth $1 million or zero.
And by the way, I told you yesterday, he makes it sound like it's a flip of the coin. Guess what? Play the lottery. You're either going to win or you're going to lose. Is that 50-50 chance? No, it's still 250 million to 1. Because there's still the chance of it going to $1 million is way, way lower than the chance of it going to 0. Could he be right? Absolutely, he could be right.
Yeah.
And guess what? More power to him if he's right. But just because it goes to $1 million, it doesn't mean you're right for the right reason. Just because you got lucky. Okay, great. What about Ethereum? Why is it better than Ethereum?
And that's what I said too. Is they keep making new ones.
Yeah.
Facebook's going to make their own, and Microsoft's going to make their own, and Apple's going to make their own dollar.
Of course. Jamie Dimon from Chase, who said Bitcoin was a scam. They're making their own now.
Yeah. So.
Oh, well.
It's hard when people make up their own currencies.
And guess what? When this thing goes to the wayside, 5-10 years from now, we'll be talking about something new. No, Paul. Bitcoin was a scam. We all knew it was a scam. This is different. Oh, got it. Just like, all those idiots who were buying in 06 and 07. By the way, we were buying in 06 and 07. I think we were being a little bit smarter about it. We were at least going based on cash flow. We didn't buy a ton. I'm looking at going, okay, but this is all the same story over and over. It's these people, nothing can lose. Everybody loses their ass, or most people lose their ass. The smart people buy. When I say the smart people, not the smart money everybody talks about institutional, I mean the smart investors. Then things start to rebound, get better, and all of a sudden bubbles happen and euphoria happens, and people are like, oh, but 10 years ago, that was so obvious. This is different. This isn't obvious. I don't see the same things. No bubble is the same. They just have similar characteristics, but people ignore the similar characteristics. We're going to have this conversation. This is why this podcast can do well for a long time, because how do I put this? I can't use the word that Seth hates.
What?
Financial morons will always exist. And I could be one of them. And I am one of them in some fashion. Oi.
Because currently you're looking like
a moron.
Or just patient.
Listen, I view it as patience, but I also have made dumb decisions. And I told my brother the other day, I'm like, it's funny to me. We're making net worth gains with literally half of our net worth sitting in cash, doing nothing. And businesses that still are growing. You know what I mean? I'm like, and I've bet against the stock market. I've shorted the stock market, so I've lost on that. And we're still making net worth gains. I'm like, I'm okay. I just don't like to go backwards. We're growing our businesses. We're growing our real estate. They keep getting better and better. Blah, 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 blah. And we're growing our cash pile and everything. And I'll continue doing that.
Yeah, I mean, there are things that do change the world. I was listening to, obviously that's a stupid statement, but I mean, like, there are things that really can jump, like internet and
fire.
VR, and I'm not saying Bitcoin's one of them, but it's definitely one that's caught fire.
Yeah, but there wasn't multiple internets. Is that even possible to say? Like these things and I'm not saying that Bitcoin doesn't have some value somewhere in the future I don't see today. But whenever you have normal people boosting something up like that, I love our basketball people. I love the people at basketball. When I hear the guys at basketball talking about the stocks and the Bitcoin they're buying, I just go, case in point, and seen. And now all your friends hate me now, but they're still going to come play basketball because it's fun to play basketball.
Well, you said that. I mean, when the grocery bagger's talking about Bitcoin and it's out, I mean, that's when,
Listen, the banker the other day we had dinner, a guy I actually like, he was talking about all these stocks he was buying and doing well on, and I was like, but why'd you buy them? Like, he wasn't buying them for the reasons that you should buy a business. But people always forget when you're buying a stock, you're buying a piece of a business.
I forget that.
What was that?
I forget that.
Of course. Because when I asked you about, I told you, like, Tesla's, like, loses money hand over fist. He's lost $1 billion. You're like, really? I'm like, yeah, really? So imagine if I told you Crossroads Creative, hey, you lost $1 billion last year. Would you say to me, really? You would know exactly what you made or lost the year before. I mean, not exactly, but by the end of the year. But when we buy stocks, we haven't learned that we're buying a business yet. We learned that we're buying virtual things. It's easy to buy that. Oh, it's just these tickers and they go up and down. It's so cute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wait, what else did he say? This dude said, I day trade.
Oh, but he'll call that investing, by the way. Day trading is not investing, children. Day trading is speculating because all you're doing is hoping that the price goes up. That is speculation.
Yeah, I day trade. Maybe he said something like Amazon or something. They
Cool.
day trade it.
Cool.
It's pretty much a form of gambling, right?
No, I do believe there are good day traders out there. It's just not investing. It's speculating. Of course, there's good day traders out there. What's his name? Jim Cramer was a day trader, and he made like 26% returns for like 10 years. I mean, that's pretty incredible. But I'm not saying everything is. I mean, you can always listen. Gambling can be investing. Poker, right? This number keeps calling me, and they won't leave a message.
I had someone call me 13 times last Monday through my business. Usually they're trying to get me to buy some sort of marketing thing or the spam. The robocalls are insane.
They are.
Half of all phone calls are robocalls.
You should see how many missed calls are on my phone because I just don't answer them.
And because I have two businesses hooked through the same number, which is
Insane.
just means that more people are calling the same number and getting the robocalls. But that's a whole other story.
Anyhow, I don't want to always be negative on Bitcoin, but guys, there'll be better times to buy a lot of good assets in the future. The person who's buying tons today that I'm talking about, who said, when's that crash? I'm like, listen, you're not worth $100 billion. You need to deploy capital. We have a finite net worth here. Your job is to do great deals, not to do, I say this all the time and learn from us. Your job is to do one great deal a year and you'll be worth 10 million bucks investing 25 grand. Be patient. Find that one deal. Do your freaking homework. You'll go spend 30 hours researching that car you're going to buy and to just save 500 bucks, but you won't go spend 30 hours looking for deals to go find the one good deal.
How do I look for deals? Tell me how I look for deals. Not like a general couple. Like, here I am. Tell me, because I'm starting too.
It's called the Google. Literally, just go on there and look for properties for sale. Go on Craigslist. Get people's information. Go MLS or whatever those Realtor.com. I don't care. It just to say, of course I can tell you like exact places to go, but you post on Facebook. You have how many friends on Facebook? Post on LinkedIn. I am looking to buy a 2 to 4 suite. Does anybody know anybody who's looking to sell? Perfect. You're an influential guy. Look at that face of yours.
It's very handsome.
Very handsome. Any one of those ways, and just start looking at the numbers and start saying, okay, this makes sense. This does not make sense.
What are the sense numbers that I need to look at?
Revenue, expenses, and make sure. Andrew, we got a deal the other day sent from somebody that we trust. Are you recording me? Was he recording me, Tim?
Go ahead.
Sending us a deal, and they're like, oh, it's a 7 cap, net income divided by sale price. Yeah, it was actually a 2.4 cap because they kept every expense under the sun out of there.
It's funny. It's a 7 cap.
Oh, sorry, 2.6. It wasn't 2.4. What are you doing, Seth?
So, Joe Rogan was talking about this thing where in notes, like, I've never done this, but in notes, apparently, like, there's some sort of speaker where you can speak into this. I know I can speak into my phone and write text.
Right.
But, like, he'll turn on his notes to do a stand-up gig, and it'll verbatim write everything he says for an hour. And then he has written text of...
But how accurate is it?
He says, like, incredibly accurate. And when he does it... Now, again, he's rehearsing a skit, so if it messes up a couple words, he knows where he's at. But the point is like, well, we could immediately get this podcast, like, transcribed pretty easy if we went through notes really quick, but I can't find it. I mean, I'm on notes, and I don't see
Sweet
this.
story.
Isn't that great? Isn't that a nice story?
Let me see. So the notes on the iPhone, or was it Microsoft Notes?
It's notes on the iPhone. Hold on a second. There it is. All right, let's see if it's going. There it is.
I will
Yeah.
keep it going.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, this is already fucked up.
And so the podcast...
How does it know who's talking then?
Well, frankly, it was when one guy was talking. So, but now the podcast has been reduced.
This is not your best idea.
I was gonna say, the podcast has been reduced to Paul and I talking and seeing if our phone can write it back to us. And it just said, "You're back, baby. I filled up a para for dinner." What is going on with this thing? All right, listen. I'm gonna let this run.
Is it accurate? Extremely accurate. It just...
I'm going to let this run and read it back to you folks. In fact, I'll just stop now. Let me know if either of us said this. Note on the iPhone, I will keep going. It will keep it going, and I didn't look up what your husband, who's talking all wrinkly when one guy with another podcast has been with you about your baby back, filled up a para for dinner. You did purchase a pole, and I was talking speakerphone. Right, him right back, and I just said your baby back, and I told her if your dinner what?
So, brilliant, Seth.
So thank you, Siri. It was incredible.
Brilliant, Seth.
Incredibly helpful. So we'll be releasing the transcription of this podcast on the YouTube page.
I didn't see you for a while. Why was that?
Did you go on vacation to Mexico? Yes.
Yeah, like 3 weeks ago.
We haven't podcasted since then, huh, Tim? Yeah.
It's not even the podcast. No, we podcasted we kind of podcasted the Tuesday after I came back.
Look, when you have a woman in your life.
That has nothing to do with it. You supposedly rent office space from me down here, but I never see you.
Come over for dinner tonight. You see?
That was kind of wicked.
You're busy.
I have food at my house.
See? I mean, what else can I do here, Tim?
Well, he gave me 2 hours notice.
Hey, the offer's there.
What's for dinner, by the way?
Whatever you want. Actually, we had that Greek salad last night at your place.
Wasn't that good?
Incredible. I got any of the ingredients. I've tried to figure it all out, and I
It's
couldn't.
cucumber, tomato, onions,
Feta cheese,
feta cheese.
olives.
You want to hear something funny? I don't like feta cheese. At least I didn't
Chickpeas.
think. I didn't. Yeah, chickpeas. So the person who makes my food for me, she makes a salad. I know exactly.
Even my kids like, does Paul have a cook? Chef? Does Paul have his own chef?
Is that what they said? When did they say that? How did that even come up in conversation?
Today. I don't know. I was talking about the Greek salad with my kids. Keep going.
Yes,
Keep going.
kids. Anyways, so I don't like feta cheese. So she makes the salad, and I'm like, so I text her. I'm like, I hate feta cheese. But you know what? It really adds the. It's a very light. I wouldn't eat feta cheese just like American cheese slices. You just take them, Kraft cheese, and you throw them in your mouth.
I was asking you for years, how do you live your life and then date someone normal? Like, how do you hi, I'm Paul. Nice to meet you. Would you like a drink? Hey, come back to this house in that car and talk about all of this shit I do with all these businesses. Because again, how many people out there running one business and running around with their chicken with a head cut off, and you're you got your hands in 15 or 16.
Well, it's funny because when I was always being set up by people, I'd always say to them, so what'd you tell them about me? Like, I told them what a nice person you were. I'm like, what else did you tell them about me? Well, I might have mentioned you have a nice house. And I'm like, oh, that's so convenient. You know what I mean? It's just and that's why I was single for a long time, because I was just like, oh boy, what's
I always
happen?
ask, how did you even find someone? And sure enough, I just realized that the someone that you found has been in your life for the past 8 years where all this is normal. It's not a shock to go to that house and have that car and it's not incredibly flashy stuff. I mean, there's definitely bigger places, but anyway, that just hit me that you kind of needed someone who was used to all that stuff for 10 years of your life to finally be around. Who keeps walking? More people are walking into the podcast.
What are you doing here?
The Learn From Us podcast is taped and recorded in front of a live studio audience. We need a laugh machine.
We do.
Like a laugh, like a Seinfeld, right?
We do.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Well, all right. Anyway, thanks.
I want to explain it. I want to show Mikey what a funny podcast looks like.
Should we even mention his?
Andrew's making some sort of jerking motion over there.
Anyway.
Can I impersonate Mikey's podcast?
Tell them about it first. Tell our listeners about it.
No, I don't want to bash anybody, but it's literally like watching paint dry for some of those.
Give them the subject matter.
It's like the Constitution or something like that.
That's a really
what
fire
is it,
up
Mikey?
people's.
Oh, the Ohio. Is there a Ohio Constitution? What do you mean? Of course there is. I don't know if there's a Ohio Constitution.
Paul's brother Mikey has a friend that comes in, and they sit down and talk about the Ohio Constitution bylaws and how it affects property owners. And holy shit, is it's riveting. It's like a Game of Thrones sort of back and forth.
Now, I haven't seen Game of Thrones, but I'm quite sure it's not like Game of Thrones.
I mean, there's tears, there's moments of happiness.
The
And
one time I
sorrow.
walked in, I swear to God, I wish, if you're watching this on YouTube, I walked in one time and Mikey was literally like this. Like just staring down lower while the other guy was talking.
And then to really ramp, and then to really ramp up the awesomeness is they open the show with Rage Against the Machine songs.
No, they don't.
Yes. When I don't know how they're not running like classical music through the whole thing, like with pipes and bourbon.
You know, Mikey in his office, he plays Disney music and it's classical music. What a pretentious little kid.
I do love
huh?
classical music. I
Do you
wake up in
really?
the morning, Alexa, play classical music. I love it. My wife not so much, but I do love it. I listen to heavy metal, classical music.
Well, we were at the house yesterday talking about playing music, and he's trying to convince me to get a drum set, which I'm not going to get. This should not fit the decor of the home. He wants me to put it literally right in the middle of exactly. Mikey's like, why?
How are we supposed to have a band without a drum set? I mean,
By the way,
well,
what was that, Tim? So that's the thing. We're converting the billiard room. We're converting because I have a pool table room. I'm doing a little remodel in my house. I don't play pool. I think it's basically glorified cornhole. So I'm getting rid of it, and I'm putting a guitar room together because I've taken guitar. And by the way, I recorded "Shine" by Collective Soul. I sent it to Seth, and he recorded his voice on it. Are you gonna do it?
Did I text it back to you?
Yeah, you did.
Oh,
He's gonna
God,
pull it up. But
fuck.
anyhow, so Seth's like, Paul, we need a drum set in this room. You guys have been in my house. Do I need a drum set in that room? No, I don't. No, in the pool table room. Yeah, the bongos. I'd rather have bongos than a drum set. What was that?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, you're gonna play this.
Okay.
Let's do this. This is me on guitar.
Hold
This is
on
me
a
on
second.
guitar, by the way.
Hold on a second. So Paul sent me a guitar riff.
And he had to speed it up a little bit because I was a little slower on it.
Yeah, Paul sent me. We had Taylor Swift playing in the background. But Paul sent me a guitar riff, and then this is what. And I sang back to it. I can't sing for shit. So
It was good though.
Let's see if this plays. Here we go, guys. Our listeners are gonna love this.
Give me your word, give me a sign. Show me what love, tell me what will I find.
It's pretty good. Oh, you guys can hear it.
Lay me on the ground, fly me to the sky.
This is great. This is our band, baby.
Okay, now we were mentioning we were gonna make the best fucking band ever made.
Yes.
And it's the steps are. It's happening.
We got it. But I can't have a drum set in my house. I'm sorry. But we're gonna do if we do the upstairs band room in the garage, we might be able to do that.
Yeah, because I mean,
Who's gonna be our drummer?
hello.
You are a drummer. I thought you wanted to be on bass.
I shred on drums.
Do you shred on drums?
I'm much better than guitar and singing.
But I don't think you're supposed to shred on. Oh, Andrew. Have you ever seen Andrew play Rock Band?
The cool part about drums and we can learn any song you want. I can play it on drum instantly. Like it's like start playing it. I'll play it.
But I told you if we really wanted drums, we could bring it from the computer and just have it virtual. What's it called?
Well, then why don't we just play the virtual guitar?
Because guitar it's different.
I'm gonna wrap all this up because
All
this is
right.
complete nonsense. Thank you for joining us on the Learn From Us podcast.
Oh, guys, I've decided to do this. I had to do it at the beginning. You really need to go like and subscribe to our YouTube and all that stuff. You need to do that like right away because our algorithms,
Okay.
we're really trying to build this thing up. The algorithms, we get a lot of people say, we love this, and then our user base is growing by like 5% a week. So we need 2% a week. We need to grow by like 5 or 10% a week. So please do that
If you subscribe, Paul will personally send you a check.
for $5,000.
Paul will not be sending you a check over $1,000. Okay. Thank you for joining us on the Learn From Us podcast. See you,
ya.
everyone. Bye.
Bye.